everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the show with no name. We're on episode 6 now. You all know who I am. There's my co-host. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tyler Mills.
Yeah, and I think I finally should tell that joke. My name there is listed as display name. It has been since the start. Oh, wait, 1 second. Yeah, there's someone at my door. Here, entertain everyone real quick while I check this.
Okay. So, if you remember last time, we tried to talk about upcoming movies that we were going to have some sort of expectations for. And as we tried to get through a list of sorts, my laptop, which I'm using right now to be here, the laptop died very quickly on me. So I just wanted to make that clear for. Yeah.
Turns out it was just my cat knocking stuff over. Say hello. Say hello to everyone, Light.
That's a cute cat.
Yeah. And don't worry, Twitch. I'm not going to shock her. Yeah, Hassan Piker jokes. I hate that guy so much.
Yeah.
I have returned.
Okay. So
he was mad because his food bowl wasn't completely full. You know how cats are. There's food around the edges, but for some reason they can't eat that. Okay. So I heard you were reminding everyone of what happened last time.
Mm-hmm.
So let's continue off from where we had to suddenly cut off. As you mentioned, we were going through a list, but specifically, we were going through. Okay, so we were going through a list, correct? But we were specifically going through Variety's list, ranking every project in the MCU from worst to best, and we were ripping it apart because of what was it, 54 things, and Secret Invasion was listed as just barely worse than Thor: The Dark World.
I think it was like 56.
But yeah, Thor: The Dark World was listed as the second worst thing.
Just baffles me.
That it was in the golden age, so it seemed bad by comparison.
Really goes to show you, Variety does not have a taste in movies.
Yeah, let me screen share the article. Okay, it's loading.
Yeah. My ass is loading.
Is it showing?
Nope, it's loading.
Wait, sorry, 1 sec. My I actually just Yeah, the other day rewatched all our old episodes to see exactly how we usually go with these things. We make so many AVGN references.
Yeah. I don't know if it's worrisome or if it's annoying. Okay then. Um.
Okay, sorry, my thing disconnected from the buffering process.
Oh.
It should be fine going forward, but wait, no, that's the wrong button. Okay, just give me a second to to redo the screen share on the Variety article. Okay.
Still not showing up.
Dang it, again.
No. It's. What the?
And okay. There, I got it. I was worried something bad was
7
going to
minutes in
happen
and you
again.
finally got
Oh, wait, something bad did happen. The Variety article showed up.
it.
Okay, now the last thing we talked about was number 52, Ant-Man Quantumania World, which is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, to keep from buffering again, I'm probably going to actually just stay on this screen so that I can continue with the article. Let me know if there's any video problems on that
Okay.
end. All right. Okay, number 51, Moon Knight. You see, Moon Knight, it's definitely not the worst of their series. Secret Invasion is definitely the worst, but Marvel made so many below things like Ironheart, She-Hulk, or what was that other one called? Oh, Echo, or even Hawkeye. Just shows they don't know what they're talking about. It's just, I mean, if I'm drunk, this might be enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, like, Moon Knight is okay. I'm gonna be honest. I've seen like 2 episodes of that show, and I was like, nah, it reminds me too much of
Okay,
Batman.
Thor: Love and Thunder. I only have one way to describe this movie, and it's by a line from the guy who made it. Oh, sorry. Okay, you're back. Sorry, you buffered for a second. Can you say that again?
Um, I was just gonna say that I've seen 2 episodes of Moon Knight, and it looked cool, but I ultimately lost interest in it.
Yeah, I mean the action sequences weren't bad, especially from me practicing a scrumma. I really liked the points of the series where we saw some cool stick fighting, but it was mostly the story and one character in particular that ruined it.
Oh my god.
Then also they didn't pay any Yeah. All right. But Thor: Love and Thunder is best described with a line from the guy who made it. He said he wanted to make a movie where you were able to see Thor going through a midlife crisis.
Well, apparently this movie was going through a midlife crisis.
Yeah. You see, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure this guy just wanted to make rom-coms or romantic dramas and all that. But somehow he got hired to do a Marvel movie, so he thought, you know what, I'm gonna do the exact same thing, throw in some action, and they're gonna love this slop.
Might I mention the
Oh, and also,
embarrassing?
it was complete. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, might I mention the fact that this was embarrassingly released on my 17th birthday?
Uh, oh, that's gotta be rough.
Yeah. Fortunately, I didn't see it, but even then, I just don't really care for the movie.
Yeah. Also, there are just some weird bits, like the implication that Mjolnir is like an ex that Thor just can't get over, but Stormbreaker is a new girlfriend who is jealous that isn't over his ex yet. That's weird. And plus, I'm gonna be real with you. I never really liked when they turned Thor into a comedy character or comedic relief, because he's not only because the thing is, okay, you want to do some funny bits with Thor. That's fine. There have been a few of them. Like my personal favorite was in Endgame. Yeah, in Endgame when they go back into the past, Thor realizes he holds out his hand, and then it's just nothing happens. Someone looks at is something supposed to happen, and Thor's mother just says, "You just give it. It's sometimes it might take a minute," and then his hammer finally comes back to his hand.
To me, everything keeps cutting out, and
Dang it. We should. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep. Okay. So, okay, this is a crime. The Incredible Hulk from 2008 was a great movie.
oh, hold on, I gotta do something.
I don't even really think there's much more that I can say.
Uh, you can go ahead and talk to the people. I'll be back.
Okay. All right. So I don't really have much to bounce off. Yeah, much to say on my own with this movie. So, and I can't bounce anything off of him for now. So, moving on. Yeah, I will say though, Edward Norton is definitely better than Mark Ruffalo. Okay, Iron Man 2 at number 48. Now, Iron Man 2 was not particularly good compared to Iron Man 1, but it's significantly better than a lot of Marvel projects that either have been mentioned or haven't. It's the same thing as Thor the Dark World. It was in the golden age of the MCU, so naturally it didn't seem as good. And I guess People still think this. Think that the previous perception is appropriate to no one liked Iron Man 2 back when it was one of the only Marvel movies. But the response was never as bad as, say, for She-Hulk or for Ironheart. Heck, yeah. Okay. Echo. Echo is just bad. The only thing I can really say about it is, at the very least, they chose a decent character to adapt from the comics. And, I can't really think of any other positive thing to say. Okay, the Eternals. The movie that showed that the MCU's lies. They claimed that the pandemic was the reason why the box office failed, only for Spider-Man No Way Home. No Way Home to come out, and then suddenly, make a bunch of money, flop. And in the end, who even remembers the Eternals? I mean, there were a couple scenes that I kind of remember, but it was not a good movie. 46 seems relatively fair until you remember a bunch of worse things are higher in this list. Okay, Captain America Brave New World. This movie was just entirely bad. Although I do like that they put it pretty low on this list because it means they had to admit that it wasn't that good of a movie. Because, I mean, pretty much this movie was just full of strong arm politics. And of course, it's Falcon, not Captain America. Heck, the guy who took up the mantle as Falcon, I can't even remember his name. Joaquin Torres or something? I can't remember. Oh, and also, it's pretty clear Harrison Ford was just doing this for the paycheck. Oh, and also the scene at the end of him fighting Red Hulk, and then said Red Hulk won. He should not have been winning that. I mean, he couldn't even take John Walker. Now, admittedly, John Walker is a very strong fighter. He was a very capable human before he took the super soldier serum. So him being able to take down Falcon would have made perfect sense. Now, him taking down Bucky and Sam both at the same time was weird, but that means he couldn't take down John Walker, so he definitely couldn't take down. And of course, the whole talking him down thing was dumb. Oh, look at what happened next. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was just talking about this. This show was just a big message of you shouldn't try to stop the terrorists. You should work with them. Meanwhile, they blew up a hospital. We're supposed to feel bad for the terrorist leader when she dies, but we're supposed to vilify John Walker, who is nothing but a hero and a nice guy the entire series. Yeah, and just face consequences. And the only reason why we should, reason that you hear for why he's a villain is because he killed a terrorist. from a strictly military standpoint, the incident leading up to this, there is nothing wrong with what he did. From a moral standpoint, it's a terrorist that blew up a hospital and was in an altercation that led to his best friend having just died. Realistically speaking, there's nothing good that I can say about this other than it introduced John Walker, and I quite like John Walker as a character. Okay, what if? All right, I am not going to comment on Voltron. This is definitely a little late, a fair bit later in the list than it should be. It was a really good movie. My only complaint is that they killed off Quicksilver. But hey, he went out like a cool guy, so I'll give him that. Also, I didn't really care for Vision. And this is a thing that goes with a lot of the later ones. I didn't, which was my main thing. But overall, also, oh wait, no, that was a different movie. But yeah, Age of Ultron was a really good movie. It doesn't deserve 42. It should be higher, especially when you remember things like Agatha All Along and WandaVision are higher than this. Okay, Where Was I Night? Yeah, no, that was actually pretty good. But I'll be real, it shouldn't be on this list because it's not, because while it, it's not really Marvel. Okay, now, Thor should be probably top 10. It's not only is it an amazing movie, but it's set up a lot in the MCU to the point where that makes it very important. There's genuinely no reason, why Thor should be so low on the list. Even if every one of the bad things that I've mentioned and will mention was on the list, past this point, there's no reason Thor should be number 40. Welcome back. The list got worse. Look at what they put at number 40.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Thor should be top 10. I say top 15 at the very least. But 40? Ugh.
That is way too harsh. Can we please make this podcast an hour long? Just so that we don't have to torture ourselves through this.
If we do that, the next one will have to include this too, so it would still be more time torturing yourself with it. They put She-Hulk above Thor.
Even with the fact that her and Megan Thee Stallion shake their asses on camera.
That wasn't even what I was gonna refer to. I was gonna refer to the episode where the entire point is Jen went to a wedding, so all of the people that aren't the She-Hulk for some reason that we're still following, are doing a divorce case for a guy whose power is he's immortal. So whenever he dies, he just comes back. So whenever he's sick and tired of a marriage, he just jumps out a window. Yeah, and then suddenly we have about, I think it was like almost 10 different marriages that they had to go, that they had to work through, that they had to do a divorce settlement for, and it ended up just at the start of the case, one of the lawyers who's supposed to be defending him says, "You're gonna have to pay," basically just saying, "Yeah, I'm not going to be on your side here. I'm helping the other people screw you over." And then, there's the matter of everything else. Like all of his exes found him because of some website that they straight up say is meant to help find man babies. They go,
Dude.
"Oh, the only reason why you don't do divorce is because you can't communicate." No, it's because he doesn't want to have to pay alimony. And then in the end, they just take all of his assets and divide it amongst all of the people. Oh, and there was also just a blatant, dumb thing they said where apparently he had a husband at one point and said that they had been married for, I can't remember how long it was, but it was a very long length of time, meaning either that was his last marriage or, wait, actually, no, I don't think that chronologically the marriage that he said could have happened because gay marriage hasn't been legal for that long in America. Okay, so that's what I was going with. Oh, and then, of course, there's the last episode. You remember how the She-Hulk finale went?
I'll be honest, I didn't watch all of it, so hit me.
Well, at one point, a guy manages to steal some of her blood after a one-night stand because she's a whore. And then he uses it to turn himself into a Hulk himself. And then out of nowhere, and he does the Hulk thing while he's giving a speech to a bunch of men on how to improve their lives because, hey, let's parody Jordan Peterson because we don't like that genius. And then he turns into a Hulk. The actual Hulk shows up and they start fighting. Then Titania shows up and just starts beating up guys for some reason. Then Jen just looks to the camera. Talk about how dumb this is. Goes through the Disney Plus home menu.
What?
Goes to the writing room to Disney headquarters and talks to a robot that's supposed to be Bob Iger. And then says, "You're rewriting the show in the way that I want because it's my show." And then says, "All Marvel movies just follow the same formula, so we need to mix that up and do something completely different. And I'm not a superhero, but I'm still a Hulk. Bruce smashes buildings, I smash legal cases, and sometimes Matt Murdock." Oh yeah, because that was a scene. Yeah, it was an episode. It was just a setup of She-Hulk bangs Matt Murdock. And then Daredevil does the walk of shame.
This is all kinds of. This is Drake of the 99 Dragons fucked up.
At least Drake of the 99 Dragons is fun to laugh
No,
at.
it's not. It is not fun whatsoever.
But I said it's fun to laugh at. She-Hulk isn't even fun to laugh at. It's just it's pain.
It's more like when someone tells you a really
I don't think I
bad
can say
dad
anything
joke
more about
and you
She-Hulk without forcing myself to. Oh, sorry. Say your thing.
Oh. It's like when someone tells you a really bad dad joke and you just groan over it. That's what this entire show makes me want to do. It makes me want to groan all the way through it.
Yeah, but at the very least, a dad joke takes a couple seconds of thought to come up with, and
Yeah.
usually doesn't have horrible people making them. Okay,
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. This was not a good movie. You see, this wasn't a good movie, but I think 38, it's probably a little high, but it's definitely not nowhere near nowhere near, yeah, She-Hulk being 39.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, it was mostly a movie about it was her movie. Ant-Man was just there. I started about the movie, but it was clearly a movie about the Wasp.
That
Okay,
makes no
Fantastic
sense.
Four steps. 37 is a bit high for this. Quite frankly, you see, Fantastic Four, the first steps. Sorry, first steps, not the first. It was an okay movie. It had decent reception, but that's because Marvel hasn't made an okay thing in so long that people like.
Okay, your audio is cutting up like crazy.
One. Oh, go ahead.
Your audio is cutting up like crazy.
Yeah. All right. My two main complaints. One, Pedro Pascal is in it. Not only am I sick and tired of Pedro Pascal, cast him as Reed Richards. Sorry. My first complaint is that Pedro Pascal is in it. I'm sick and tired of seeing him, and I don't even get why they cast him as Reed Richards. Am I outside of Susan Storm? Because I mean, think about it. During the fight with Galactus, she was the only one who was really doing anything of value to hold him off. And then when Johnny Storm goes to make his heroic sacrifice at the end of the movie, they take that from him and make the female Silver Surfer that they put in for some reason, be the one who does the self-sacrifice at the end.
Honestly, I did not even see this movie because I don't care about the Fantastic Four.
Oh,
to me,
trust me, I understand.
They're just really, really boring. Like,
yeah. You see, I think that they do have some interesting stories, but for instance, the Fantastic Four was the is the main enemy of Doctor Doom.
Hey,
Wait, one second. I have to take care of this.
Okay. I mean, I'm just gonna be upfront with you people. The only reason I never really liked the Fantastic Four is just because the powers don't really have any sort of interest to me. Like going invisible, everybody wishes that, so it's kind of overwished in my opinion. And then you have the Human Torch, who was the very first superhero that Marvel ever made, but I don't know. Even him, he's not enough. Not even Chris Evans could make this guy interesting enough for me. And I don't really care for Mr. Fantastic's power, nor do I care for the Thing. I mean, if I'm going to look for a strong superhero, I'd rather go with the Thing. No. No. I did not mean to say that. If I'm looking for a brute force superhero, I'd rather go for the Hulk. Because in all honesty, the
Okay, I'm
thing
back.
being all like sandstone and all that crap, it just ugh. It's an ugly texture for it's ugly texture for human skin.
Okay, two things here. First, Susan Storm isn't just able to turn invisible. She also has force field powers, which are ridiculously broken, to be honest. Also, so what did you say about Johnny Storm or the Human Torch's powers? I didn't hear that part.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna say anything about his powers, but I'm just saying that the Human Torch was actually the very first superhero that Marvel ever made. Like
Oh, that's cool.
even yeah, he was released in 1940, I think 1941. But even then, his history doesn't really get to me, and not even Chris Evans is enough to interest me in this guy at all.
Really? He ever played Batman?
Yeah, Chris Evans
He had a
actually played
villain
this
who
game.
just covered himself in asbestos because asbestos is fireproof.
It's not that. It's just I don't know. I don't really care for the ability to set for self-immolation.
I mean, you are immune to the fire as well. So, I mean, that's good. And you can shoot fire and you can fly. That's multiple powers right there. Fire immunity, ability to set yourself on fire, ability to shoot fire, and you can fly.
You know,
I
I'm
mean, at
gonna
the
be
same
honest.
time, the thing it has is almost impervious to damage and has strength.
I'm gonna be dead
Susan
serious.
Storm can turn invisible and has force fields. Reed Richards has ability to stretch his body ridiculous ways.
I gotta say something. I gotta say something about those two
Oh, and
particular
also,
powers.
oh, okay. I'll hold
Well,
off on mentioning Franklin for a second.
oh,
The suspense is killing me. I hope it lasts. Willy Wonka reference. Haven't made one of those yet.
I. Mm,
So, what were you going to say about the two of them and their powers?
oh, I mentioned that I was actually gonna change it to 3 of the powers that remind me of something, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows the reference.
Hey, sorry, you froze. Okay, unfortunately, his screen froze. Okay, he cut out there. All right, I'm thinking that means either he restarted his thing, his laptop crash, or his Wi-Fi gave out. All right. So in the meantime, let's continue with the list. So that we don't, because I don't want to bore you guys. Okay, 36, Black Widow. Probably the most boring origin story for one of their major characters we could have gotten. And I thought it was a bit heavy-handed with the messaging. And it definitely doesn't deserve to be this high on the list. There are definitely far worse things, like Agatha, like Ironheart, like WandaVision, all that. But it's not good. Okay. Iron Man 3. It's interesting because a lot of people had problems with Iron Man 3. I personally didn't have many problems with it other than I thought that the enemies were a bit overpowered given how much they could withstand. But oh, and I didn't care for the ending with the house party. With the clean slate protocol. I mean, it was one thing for Tony to get the shrapnel surgically removed from his heart, but at the same time, blowing up all of his suits. Oh, great, he's back.
I'm back and I want to fucking kill somebody.
Okay, but all right. So I moved on. While you were going, we got Black Widow and then Iron Man 3. Now Black Widow was mostly just boring and the messaging was a bit heavy-handed. Yeah, was a good movie, but again, it's just that it was being compared to amazing things like the first Iron Man and of course the Avengers. Matter of fact, a decent amount of the major conflict of Iron Man 3 was related to Tony Stark having PTSD from the Battle of New York. So I'm thinking 35 might be fair for Iron Man 3.
My mom used to watch it a lot.
What do you think?
I'm gonna be upfront with this. I don't really care for the sequels of Iron Man as much as I care for the first Iron Man. Like, Iron Man 3...
No, that's absolutely true. Iron Man 1... sorry. Go ahead.
It's fine. The thing about Iron Man 3 that really got me was, I don't know, I guess it was kind of the lack of understanding of it, because even though I watched that movie so many times with my mom, I just can't get into it. Like, it's so confusing to understand how everything is. And I like to me, it's like there's a lack of action with it, because I'm going to be honest, I have not seen the movie in a long time, but I don't plan to, because in all honesty, even though Iron Man is a cool superhero, he's not really one of my favorites.
He's one of mine, but okay, funnily enough, what probably my favorite part about Iron Man 3 was separating Tony from his technology, because it forced us to see, forced Tony to show exactly how capable he is without technology. Like how he makes a bunch of stuff from basically just a trip to Home Depot that allows him to take down super terrorists.
It basically shows his resourcefulness.
So, yeah, which just goes to show, this is my perfect the example that I always use, to debunk that one line from Ironheart, which says, "Do you think that Tony Stark would be Tony Stark if he wasn't born a billionaire?" Yes, he took down super terrorists with a trip to Home Depot. Okay, yeah, he got his suit back eventually, which allowed, and then a bunch more with the House Party Protocol, which allowed him to face down in a final showdown. But again, a trip to Home Depot was enough to allow him to compete with them. Of course, everyone likes to mention the line of Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. But I prefer this being my reference for how Tony Stark could have been Iron Man without being born a billionaire, just because this is better. Because you can't make the argument of, oh, it wasn't a box of scraps, it was old missiles. And? Okay. But yeah, Iron Man 3, this might be a fair placement, but we know there's a lot of worse things ahead of this on the list. Mm-hmm. Case in point, or the box office. Captain Marvel made $1 billion at the box office, but it was a bad movie, and that ultimately led to Rotten Tomatoes having to change things so that it would be perceived as better than it was.
I gotta go downstairs again. Go ahead and entertain the audience.
Okay. Oh, and also they forced a Stan Lee cameo in by editing an image of him in with CGI after he was dead. Not only is that so disrespectful, but still. But of course, my biggest problem with this movie is what they did to Nick Fury. He was so cool. They showed that he was a capable fighter, but then had him lose the fight to the one Skrull. Yeah, despite the fact that he was clearly a good enough fighter to have possibly won. And then in the end of the movie, they revealed that the way that Nick Fury lost his eye was to a cat scratching him. One of the coolest characters in the MCU did this. Yeah, we went a long way from him knowing that a fighter jet was about to take off with a nuke to drop on New York, so he goes out with a bazooka to try to stop it. Yeah, to now he's losing an eye to a little kitty cat. Okay, the Marvels. The Marvels is worse than Captain Marvel. First off, do I need to mention the music number? And also, tell me, who are the people on left and right? No one knows and no one cares. Oh, and the girl on the left, she actually had unique powers in the comics, but now they switched it out for generic energy powers. And I really don't want to even spend too much time talking about this movie, so I'm just going to say they stole the plot from Spaceballs. Okay, Miss Marvel. Yes, that's the girl from previously, I'm aware. But who even watched Miss Marvel? It's not as bad as the Marvels. But being not as bad doesn't make it good. Honestly, I might even prefer to watch Captain Marvel to this. Ant-Man. personally, I would have ranked this a little higher because I actually did quite like Iron Man. Yeah, because it's a pretty good story with a believable and likable protagonist. Yeah, his feats make sense. He's not doing the once you give the technology, he's not doing the impossible. Yeah, so and when it comes down to it, I even like the side characters. So yeah, Ant-Man's good. I personally would have probably ranked a little higher. 31 is Agatha Long, WandaVision. Yeah, Vision, Ironheart, etc. One of the worst shows that Marvel has ever made. Ironheart is basically just hey, remember that girl from Wakanda Forever that made an Iron Man suit out of, for some reason, was able to make a vibranium detector without even having a sample of vibranium to sync it to detect. Yeah, who killed a bunch of cops. Yeah, who helped save Wakanda from the Atlanteans. Yeah, who ended in all that. Yeah, she's living in Chicago, the murder capital of America. Yeah, and she's saying that she needs to do crime because in order to change the world, because she doesn't have $1 billion like Tony Stark. So she does things like sell projects to other people, abuse her grant at MIT, and when she gets kicked out of MIT for destroying part of the school, she steals the suit that was built with the grant money, which by law means it belongs to MIT. Steals the suit. She crashes because the school's AI was in it, therefore making it so that she can't operate the suit. Which means she somehow survives that crash in the middle of the asphalt. Yeah, carries the suit home and spends a while putting it back together. Accidentally creates a perfect AI replica of her best friend who died in a drive-by, because stereotypes. And then joins a crime organization. And it's the dumbest crime organization ever, because their muscle is just a couple of I cannot say that without getting banned on Twitch. Their hacker's a drag queen who, I'm gonna be real, with those with fake nails like that, I don't imagine you could type it. Period. How are you hacking? We have a person named Clown who makes explosives. And actually, no, I'm just gonna bring this up. The massive changes to the comic book characters. For starters, Clown was a clown in the comics, hence the name. In this one, it's just random black girl. Then we had the Blood Brothers, who were changed to the Blood Siblings so they could be a girl and a trans girl. And then also it takes out the defining characteristics, and most notably them being red, hence the being called Blood Brothers. And then Slug was a 1,000-pound man who got changed into just random black drag queen. And then Ezekiel Stane gets brought in, who was an Iron Man villain, who's and they make him pathetic. The Hood is fine until you realize that the only, if you actually look at Mephisto, the only accurate portrayal in this entire series is Riri, because she is just as obnoxious in the. So realistically speaking, this is just. I will say though, I didn't have any problems with Mephisto. Sacha Baron Cohen was good. Surprise, surprise! You get a good actor role, and he does well when, well, even with the bad writing. This might actually be in the top 3 worst things that Marvel has ever done. I genuinely think this might be the worst thing they've ever done, followed by Agatha and probably WandaVision. We'll get to those eventually because for some reason they're still above this. Doctor Strange was a good movie. This is not deserved to be at 29. It should be at least Agatha All Along is higher. And wait, sorry, I saw something real quick. It says here, bonus points awarded for seeing a major fight sequence at a White Castle. Because stereotypes. Okay. But yeah, Doctor Strange should be higher. At least 25, I think. Okay, the Thunderbolts. No. Using it as Marvel Return, like they were. The Thunderbolts was okay. Any superhero movie that advertises itself as having a very long therapy scene should not be a superhero movie. Here, let's go over the cast here to talk about them. I think that's Ghost in the back there. She's pretty much one of the only useful people here, but at the same time, I couldn't tell you her personality. Bob here is the most powerful person in the world. But it doesn't remember anything and is powered by, and it has the potential to go evil at any time if he gets his memories back because he has PTSD. Bucky over here, I have not forgiven you for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Also, apparently he was, had a run in Congress for a while, but failed. And honestly, for a while, I was thinking that was meant to be kind of a dig at Brandon Herrera. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, I don't really have... Yeah, Bucky's plot line was pretty dumb. Yelena here is... they kept going, oh, that Florence Pugh deserved better. No, she didn't. Her acting isn't that good. I mean, her accent is nice, but nothing really good that I can say about it. Say about her entire performance other than she cries well. And then we get the best parts of the movie. These two, Red Guardian and John Walker. Funny, the two who actually have a relation because they're both state-sponsored super soldiers, as Red Guardian put it. Red Guardian's hype man energy brought up the constant downer energy of this movie, and John Walker is just a good character. But I've talked about him earlier, so I won't go too much more into it. Daredevil Born Again. See Daredevil's more time going on dates than he does fighting crime, where Kingpin's wife cheats on him and then forces him to go to couples counseling. Yeah, they introduce Froggy just to kill him. And then genuinely speaking, it, see, it says here, right here. It was based on the Netflix. It's not tied to the Netflix series, but that's not in the MCU. So you would have to know beforehand. Hey, before you watch this series, you got to watch this series, which is already a problem. But it's already a problem because not only is it not obvious, but also if you have to watch another series to prepare for another series, that's going to get people to not want to watch it. And even then, you have to tap. And even then, by not tying the two series together in any meaningful way, but expecting you to have watched it, when they kill off Daredevil's friend friend at the start of this one, we have no reason to care about this guy other than Charlie Cox is actually really good at acting, so we actually feel the grief that he's supposed to be feeling for this guy. Oh, and also Kingpin is an obvious Trump allegory. And all the men are portrayed as idiots. So, yeah. Okay, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I don't remember this. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This one ties with WandaVision as we're supposed to feel sympathy for Wanda while she's doing horrific things. And then there's dumb things like why did Wanda give them the information? Give her the information she needed. Needed. Because it's not like she was torturing him. She was torturing a person completely different than him. And then there's the matter of this plot could have been solved so easily, and Wanda could have just gone to literally any universe. Heck, when she goes to the other universe and confronts the Illuminati, they offer it to her. They straight up say, "Look, we can send you to. You want to be in a. You want your kids back from whatever universe. We can send you to a universe where your kids are there, but you're not, so you can have your kids, okay?" And her response is, "But what if they get contracted with an incurable disease? I need the power to cure them." And there's literally no reason for them not to just say, "We can send you to a universe that's like what I said, but with no disease." There's an infinite number of universes. We can give you the perfect one. So that nothing can ever go wrong or happen to your kids. But does she listen? But do they say that? No. Instead, Reed Richards threatens her with Black Bolt. So then we get the dumbest scene of any Marvel movie to come out in 2022. She makes Black Bolt's mouth disappear, so he pops his own head with his powers, which is incredibly dumb, mind you. Then Reed Richards just reaches out to her because, that's smartest man in the world, obviously. So then she turns him into string cheese. Then she just initiates random melee combat with the British Captain America, Captain Carter. One second.
I've just been missing out on so much.
Sorry. Someone walked in and I had to talk to them for a second. Okay, then she gets cut in half with her own shield. And then we have this universe's Captain Marvel, who I won't even go into that. And then she gets crushed by a statue. And then in the end, the entire movie is garbage. Doctor Strange does basically nothing. And that the only real fight scene against Wanda where anyone does anything is when America Chavez suddenly gets the "you're more powerful than you know" speech. So suddenly she's able to start punching Wanda for some reason. And then at the end of the movie, suddenly Wanda's got her conscience back and decides to pull a Samson. Do you know what that means, pulling a Samson?
No.
You see, it refers to the story of Samson and Delilah. It refers to the story of Samson and Delilah from the Bible, where the story ends with Samson, yet you going into the place where his enemies were, finding two pillars supporting the weight of the building, and then pushing them out of place so the building collapsed on top of all of them. So Wanda just kills herself by making the temple that she was in collapse on top of her. And we're supposed to feel bad. But at the same time, this took place after WandaVision, which I'll get to once we finally get to WandaVision on this list, because for some reason we haven't crossed it. So really, this is just a bad movie. It shouldn't be number 25. This should be like number 40. Maybe 45. Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That one was decent. A lot of people say it's good. I personally didn't like it that much. And I really didn't like their portrayal of Adam Warlock. That's honestly all I really had to say about it. Do you have any comments about this movie?
Honestly, the highlight of this movie for me was Raccoon's tragic story. Like,
oh yeah, Rocket Raccoon's backstory was great.
That is honestly all I have to say about it.
I got to agree there.
Aside from the very first F-bomb,
given that Guardians of the Galaxy is what? Sorry, I was waiting for you to finish saying your thing. Very first F-bomb and what?
Also, aside from being the movie to include the very first F-bomb to be dropped in Marvel history, I think personally that, yeah, like in Marvel's movie history, they finally included the F-bomb last year. Or no, I think it was like 2 years ago.
I thought Sam Jackson already got that.
Nope.
You're telling me they didn't give it to Samuel L. Jackson?
Okay,
this movie should... Okay, no. Now this movie deserves to be a number 50. Now this movie deserves to be a number 56 because it took the one thing that Sam Jackson has.
I mean,
he's supposed to be the one who says the word.
It's not really...
Oh yeah, the one devout Christian in the cast. Okay, but moving on. Okay, the holiday special. It would, you know, about this. So, okay, Spider-Man: Far From Home. It was okay. A lot of people really liked how they portrayed Mysterio. To be honest, I don't really have much to say. I like the plot line between Spidey and... Okay. I won't spoil too much because, you gotta, you might see it eventually, but I say the best parts of this movie were the scenes between Spider-Man and Happy. And, a lot of people think this was one of the better portrayals of Mysterio. Personally, I didn't care much for it because Mysterio has always been more of a wacky villain to me. So I like when they play up that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye. Hawkeye was... You see, the story of her is, during the Battle of New York, her father died. But she saw Hawkeye doing stuff, so she once wanted a bow and arrow as a kid. She became an amazing archer. And then, and then the plot of the series happens, and despite the fact that she's a fully grown woman, she starts hanging out with Hawkeye in like a mentorship thing. But then there are dumb things like there was where they had to get Hawkeye's trick arrows, so they have to go on a thing to get those, which is dumb because why can't Hawkeye just make his trick arrows? That would be his thing. He's good at making his trick arrows. And then he does it later in the series, so there's no reason for them to do the quest in the first place.
I don't really care for Hawkeye much.
Yes, I won't. Worst part is he's one of my favorite heroes. Now he does have one pretty cool scene where she mentions that she once heard of things where heard someone say that Hawkeye can knock out a guy from 10 feet away with a nickel. And the conversation goes, and then he pulls out a nickel and just flicks it with his thumb to make the thing fly a few feet away and smack into a VCR to press the button on it. And those buttons are really stiff. You got to actually use some force to push the buttons on them.
Yeah.
As his way of showing, I can knock a guy out from 5 feet away with a nickel. But also, and in the end, the culmination of all this is a fight against Kingpin's goons. But Hawkeye doesn't face down against Kingpin in a climactic final thing. No. They do some stuff on ice against a bunch of goons. And it's implied that Kingpin dies, begging for his life against Echo. Yeah. I have nothing good to say about this show other than I like Hawkeye. But at the same time, this series was bad and it was not kind to Hawkeye. Okay, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This... okay, take your time.
Oh my God. Damn it!
What?
I thought I had to sneeze, but it was a fucking lie.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Okay. Black Panther Wakanda Forever was made after Chadwick Boseman's death. The entire first sequence of the movie is, well, first it's a mission with the Black Panther with Shuri trying to find something that would allow her to save T'Challa. But then we have a really long funeral scene. And
that's a pet peeve.
And then
mine.
The whole thing is they introduce. Yeah. Then they introduce the Atlanteans and have Namor because they have to be pretentious with pronouncing his name. It's Namor, not Namor. I can't even do the ridiculous R sound.
Namor.
Exactly. And then they go to Chicago, where they find Riri Williams from Ironheart because she invented a vibranium detector, and that the CIA took and was using and allowed them to defeat and allowed them to try to get vibranium from the ocean, but then the Atlanteans kill a bunch of them, and then basically the movie culminates in a massive fight scene of Wakanda versus the Atlanteans, where in the end they beat Namor with a heater.
Namor.
Yes, they beat him with a heater because it dries him out, and so they just win.
That is so lame.
Yeah. Although I will say, on the Nerdrotic Daily podcast, they actually said something very funny.
Mm-hmm.
This that in this movie we have a bunch of really wet Mexicans climb over a wall to try to invade an isolationist country, and they defeat the Mexican with a very wet back by drying him.
Interesting.
It's Yeah, Gary from Nerdrotic said it. It was hilarious and is easily the best thing I can say about this movie. That Gary from Nerdrotic said something very funny and racist about this.
So, okay.
But, I mean, it's really bad. The first one was, I mean, you know it's bad when I'm saying that Black Panther is better than something. Because Black Panther wasn't even that good of a movie, but it's better than this garbage.
Yeah, like, honestly, I'm just going to be honest. I like the suit and its design, but I don't like...
Yeah.
I just don't really care for... I just don't really care for the movie that much. I mean, at first, I loved it, but then as time went on, I was just like, I don't really care for this anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it's just that, like, ever since She-Hulk, I've lost interest in the Marvel movies as a whole. And there are only a few of them that I have actually been excited for.
Like what? Name one.
Okay. I'm going to pull up a movie that is probably considered overrated, but Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, like, I'm
It
saying
actually
it
isn't
here.
considered overrated. It's well liked for a lot of reasons. Yeah, it's a really well liked movie, but at the same time, Marvel got absolutely no money from making that because Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man.
Honestly, I'm just gonna say it. Sony made a really big mistake when they only chose Spider-Man.
Hey, they still made a bunch of money off of the deal though, because No Way Home, if I remember correctly, made
Yeah, it
well
made
over
close
$1
to
billion in
two
the
billion.
box office
It made
opening
close to
weekend.
$2 billion worldwide, and that is in the pandemic era.
Yeah, I even mentioned earlier, No Way Home proved the Eternals' excuse of the pandemic is the reason this movie didn't make money completely wrong. Because No Way Home came out a week after the Eternals came out. No Way Home made billions. Eternals, no one remembers.
Actually, I'm not sure Eternals release date. November 5th, 2021. Yeah. So it was a month before the movie came out.
I was close.
Yeah. No Way Home came out on December 17th. And I have a little story about this movie. But
okay.
I think we may have to save it for next time or something.
Yeah, we still have a decent chunk of this list to get through. This has to be top 5. Like, we're talking the Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, the First Avenger. Genuinely, I cannot think of a single way to justify them putting this so far back. And Agatha all along, WandaVision, those shows are still above this.
What in the ever-loving, chocolate-covered, butter crispy fuck?
Okay, I wasn't expecting that line.
That's not a nerd reference. That's something I actually made up.
No, I was saying I wasn't expecting you to say that. But
Oh.
it was funny. Okay, there's no way to justify this, so I don't think we can we should even stick on this one. Okay, Shang-Chi and the... I have nothing positive to say about this movie. They were trying really hard to be a kung fu movie, but at the same time, they clearly don't like kung fu movies. That and also Shang-Chi's sister is apparently naturally way better at martial arts than he is, despite the fact that she wasn't able to train. So she just copied what she saw other people doing and developed her own martial art that's apparently so much better than the actual martial arts.
That says a lot.
It's like the guy who tries to learn... It's like the guy who tries to learn kung fu from watching Bruce Lee movies. Yeah. Okay, so nothing good to say. I have nothing good to say about this movie. It not only should it not be in the top 20, we're talking maybe 40, 45 at the 5. Genuinely, I have nothing good to say about this movie. And the fact that they put it above Captain America the First Avenger is a crime.
I've never even seen Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, but I don't even want to. What?
No less.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
No. Let's scroll down, because I want to see what happened.
Oh, Deadpool and Wolverine was next.
What?
It's okay. I mean, to be honest, I don't even really think this should count as an MCU project. Oh, sorry.
This should have at least counted as, like, the last X-Men movie from 20th Century Fox.
Is there any more I can grab them?
Nope, I did a small order.
Okay.
But
yeah, to be honest, I don't even really think they should be counted amongst the MCU projects. 1 second, my cat just got in. Say hello. Yeah, everyone.
Hi. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't
that,
really think
I'm
that
gonna
Deadpool
go
and
crazy
Wolverine
on
should...
this.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think it should have been counted amongst the X-Men. I mean, among the MCU projects, because it's Deadpool and Wolverine. That's X-Men and X-Force, not Force, which are within Marvel Comics, but not the MCU. Because, I mean, how are you going to count Deadpool and Wolverine, but not Deadpool, or Deadpool 2, or the X-Men movies? Because at that point, that's just getting crazy.
Well, I mean...
And even if we were counting those, I don't think Deadpool and Wolverine would have been so high on the list.
Jesus, like... I'm sorry, but... this should not be on number 17.
Oh, no, I agree. Even if
honestly,
I mean, yeah, it's better than a lot of things that that have been on the list and will be on the list, but it does not deserve 17.
Honestly, I'm just gonna flat out say it. This right here is probably my second favorite MCU movie. Well, not MCU movie, but X-Men movie.
I still have to see it.
Well, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but
oh, it's already been spoiled a decent amount. Like, I know about the scene where Wolverine is insulting Deadpool in the car leading into their fight. I know
not about
scene.
I'm not gonna mention that. I'm not going to mention that part in particular. Because, I mean, that is what people call the highlight of the movie. But in reality, it's not the highlight of the movie. I think.
Yeah, the highlight of the movie is Deadpool dancing to Bye 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 while beating people up with Wolverine's skeleton.
I think that's more like a secondary highlight. But I do say it is the best intro within the Deadpool trilogy. I think the biggest highlight for me was when or wait, you haven't seen it all, haven't you?
Nope.
Okay. So I'm just going to say it's when they first fight.
Okay.
Because do you mind if I tell you what was used in that?
Go ahead.
It was an AC/DC song called Hell's Bells.
Oh, that's one of my favorite AC/DC songs.
Probably my top favorite.
Hey, one of my favorite videos on the internet right now is Darth Vader's original hallway scene done to Hell's Bells.
Oh my god, I've seen
Watch
that.
it when you get the chance.
That's an epic video.
Okay, but moving on. Finally, we're at this nonsense. This is the Marvel property that was made for wine moms. It's just a bunch of shows about a bunch of, postmenopausal women who think that liking wine is a personality. Give them magic powers and throw a random gay guy in there with them. And also make sure to remind everyone that it's Marvel every once in a while. And I'm just going to say it. There was a reporter who asked every single member of the cast cast in an interview, is this the gayest Marvel show ever? And nobody denied it. Heck, a lot of people agreed with it.
Jesus Christ, the LGBTQ does not need to have that much attention.
It's just a bad show.
I mean, what the fuck?
Oh, and also, if I remember correctly, I mean, I could be wrong. It's been a while. I think that Agatha and Death had a relationship.
Well, I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Oh, and also, again, it's one of those series where the main character basically commits a genocide, and yet we're supposed to feel bad for her. Yeah, because, she lost her kid.
That's no reason to feel bad for somebody.
I have nothing good to say about this. Yeah, I have nothing good to say about this show other than it eventually ends. Top 3 worst things Marvel has ever done. Are you seeing this?
So, my eyes are correct.
The greatest superhero movie ever made is at number 15.
I just want to stop it right here. How the fuck is The Avengers at number 15 justifiable?
It isn't. Okay, you want to end this right here, but we still got plenty of this going. How about a lightning round?
All right.
Okay, Avengers, greatest superhero movie ever made, and they put it at number 15. Spider-Man Homecoming, a halfway decent Spider-Man movie that was backed by Iron Man. Good movie, but not better than the Avengers. Captain America Civil War, a halfway decent movie explore what happens when you go too far. But not better than the Avengers. A pretty good way of combining a bunch of the stories of the MCU all together into a cohesive plot where everyone's integrated. But not better than the Avengers. If you would put this at number 2 or 3 on the list, with Avengers being 1, that would be fair. But it's not this much, not significantly better than the Avengers. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I liked this movie quite a bit, but it's not better than the Avengers. Although the scene with Yondu's sacrifice, it was excellent, and I really liked the funeral scene. But the Avengers is significantly better. Loki. The series where it's just about Loki, nothing mattered up to this point. Thor Ragnarok. Well, they made Thor. They continued with the idea that Thor is kind of an idiot. Too much Mark Ruffalo. And I did like the scene where the one guard held off a bunch of people so that the civilians could escape by dual wielding his AK-47s. That was nice. He named them Dace and Troy because when you put them together, they destroy. That was the best joke of the entire movie. Iron Man. Honestly, this one being higher than the Avengers is one of the few acceptable ones. It's probably the best solo hero movie that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has ever done, with the exception of Captain America: The First Avenger. At the same time, I still say this is top 3. Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America: The First Avenger. Spider-Man No Way Home was a gimmick movie and everyone knows it. This is not better than the Avengers. It's not better than Iron Man. It's not better than Captain America: The First Avenger. I'd say it's about on par with Civil War at best. Well, you like this movie. What do you think?
Honestly, as I said, it's my personal favorite movie from the MCU, but it's only because of this. I watched so much of the Avengers that I eventually got burnt out on it. And with Spider-Man No Way Home, it was something that I have really anticipated ever since my dad ever showed me, like, the trailers for it back in summer and all that stuff.
Okay, so what you're saying is you got burnt out of the major stuff, so the fact that a street level hero came back into play was exciting for you. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wish that Marvel did more street level heroes. Heck,
Yeah.
Daredevil's the perfect street level hero, but they ruined it. X-Men 97. I actually didn't watch this series, so I won't comment on it. What, have you seen it?
Nope. So, no comment.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This is, as number 5, is perfectly fine. It's one of the most important movies in the MCU. It's one of the most well-loved. Quite frankly, putting it here is fine, but it's not better than the first Avenger or the Avengers. WandaVision.
Why is this at number 4?
I finally get to say what's wrong with this series.
God.
This is the series. Sorry, I have to put my laptop on the charger real quick.
I don't blame you.
This is the series where the Scarlet Witch traps and tortures an entire, and then at the end of the series, when she finally lets them go, someone legitimately tells her to her face, they'll never know what you sacrificed.
What in the fuck did she sacrifice in order to get that phrase?
Nothing. Oh, she sacrificed the people that she was keeping prisoner by letting them go. Oh. And the worst part is, for the first few episodes of it, it was interesting because we didn't know what was going on. People were giving theories. There was a big speculation that the entirety of the show was being caused by Mephisto. And then it turns out the guy who was making the series didn't know who Mephisto
I'm going to have to go downstairs.
Was.
Entertain the audience.
Ever made. And on top of that, hire someone to explain things for you. Just go to to a comic book store, find the first nerd, and say, "Hey, can you explain everything about this list of characters to me? I'll give you $20." Someone will do it. Hey, it's like Gary from Nerdrotic always says, you don't need focus groups, just take someone out to lunch and get some opinions. Heck, they might buy you lunch. Okay, moving on from WandaVision. This is raising my blood pressure. Guardians of the Galaxy at number 3. No. If you had this in top 10, top 15 maybe, it would have been perfectly fine. But it is not number 3. It's a good movie, but it's not the best. Oh, Black Panther. This garbage. Black Panther, which was the only reason Black Panther's as popular as it was because of the racial politics. It was full of messaging, full of identity politics. And genuinely, this was a B-tier movie at best. It's fun to watch 1 or 2 times, but it's not number 2. Heck, I even detract points just from the fact that people were being told not to watch it. Yeah, because of their melanin count. Now, it's a if this had been like maybe 25, 30 on the list, fine. It's about realistically. Nothing good to say about it, but it's not good, but it's not bad. It's on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 5. So, and number 1 is Endgame. Now, Endgame is not particularly good. People just like it because of all of the characters. Unfortunately, that means that most of the characters don't get their time to shine. It had some good moments here and there, but it's not as good as Infinity War. And Infinity War is not as good as as the original Avengers. So, realistically speaking, the list should have gone Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America the First Avenger, Captain America the Winter Soldier, then I'll say Thor, then the Incredible Hulk. Actually, no. I think the list might need to be its own. My list might need to be its own video. With that being said, here, give me a sec. Okay. With that being said, that is the end of the list. My co-host unfortunately left a while back, and that during the lightning round, so he is not here. I'll be sure to catch him up on it afterwards, though. But this actually ran a fair bit later than was expected, so I'm behind schedule. So on that note, I do have one announcement. On my YouTube channel and on Twitch, of course, I'm going to start streaming a Dungeons and Dragons podcast where I will be playing as the Dungeon Master in a game that will be streamed on Twitch, go up on YouTube, of course. So be sure to keep your eye out for that. Thank you all very much for watching. This has been the show with no name. Until next time, bye. Sorry, usually he's here to say his part, and he does the Markiplier bye-bye thing. But, sorry. Bye-bye.